Good evening, everyone. Last night, so here we go again. Apologies for lateness from Councillor Martin Welton, so he delayed back from work. Any declarations of interest? Thank you. Another meeting on the 15th of July. The minutes of that meeting agreed. Thank you. Item 4, the consultation on the draft South London Waste Plan. What we'll do, we'll wait for Martin, we'll take that when he is here. So we're on item 5, preparing the Council for the United Kingdom's exit from the EU. Councillor Allison.
Thank you, Leader. Obviously, we spoke about this at some length and presented it to Council last night. I should begin by what I didn't really have time for yesterday, which is to thank the very many officers and staff of the Council who are doing so much to mitigate the potential difficulties that the borough and our residents could face as a result of Brexit. Obviously, initially the concern has been about making sure that the implementation of Brexit as a deal is that we ensure that our residents aren't impacted as much as they could be. As I said last night, I think it's still our view that there will be an impact on residents here. There could be an impact on businesses. There could be an impact on many of our residents, particularly those who are from the European Union or whose loved ones are from the European Union. And that they will have an impact even if there is a deal. But I think last night and with this paper, it's a little bit more about the potential consequences of their Britain living in a edge kind of manner on October the first without to do it. And that's obviously a great concern for us. So I'd like to thank everybody involved in this. One of the first things we did as administration was establish a named officer responsible for Brexit, and Caroline Holland has taken that. So I've taken the responsibility as the cabinet member responsible for the Council's response to Brexit, and necessarily responsible for Brexit, I hope. And we've taken a number of actions to work with other councils and authorities to build up resilience here. We're, for instance, funding a post at the Merton's Assistance Advice Bureau, which means that we're able to provide good and tailored advice from a trusted source to people as they need it. I think one of the concerns we mentioned last night, particularly for residents from an EU background, is the difficulties that many of them are having in attaining settled status. Clearly, the role of systems advice is helping many people with their applications, but it is quite a struggle. You have to prove that you have been a resident and working in the country for 5 years, and for some people, even for many of us, I imagine, being able to demonstrate that you had been entirely 100% of your time living and working in this country over a 5-year period would be quite tricky, particularly if you don't own a house, you're not the bill payer on a house, you're sharing with somebody. If you have a baby or those sorts of things, it makes life very difficult. And so we are finding in the country that more than a quarter of EU citizens who've applied for settled status, and those are the ones who've applied, are still not getting it. And that is a massive, massive worry for them, and it's a massive worry for us, because obviously they're our friends and neighbours. So that's the difficulties that we're facing now. With the no deal, we've seen from the Operation Yellowhammer papers that have been released against the government's wishes in the last few weeks. Parliament has forced the government to publish them. We should thank our former members of the council, in particular Siobhan McDonough and Stephen Hammond, for voting to publish those figures. It means that we now know that there are risks that fresh food will not be available in local shops, and there is a risk as well that medicines won't get to people who desperately need it to stay alive. There's been talk of a great deal of consequences for the NHS as a result of an early Brexit. So we need to really watch out for that. So I think it's no surprise that we've been in Merton using a lot of our experience in emergency planning to prepare for Brexit. This is an emergency, potentially, and we should treat it as that. And as we said last night, and it wasn't just the administration, the Liberal Democrats also talked about it, the threat of no deal is something that we feel very strongly that our representatives should stand up against, and we would like them to do that. Anyway, I've probably gone on a little bit too long, a lot of the round that I did last night, which I'm sure that everybody was enthralled by then, and probably not even less so now. But if there's any further questions that people have about the actual work that the council is doing, so this is a forum in which it's easier to do that than it is in the more sort of like confrontational style of a full council meeting. I'm happy to help out.
Thank you. Just for Councillor Walton's benefit, we'll be taking your item later, item 4, consultation with draft South London Wage Plan, after this item on Brexit. We now turn to the lead officer on Brexit for the London Borough of Merton, Caroline Holland.
Thank you, Chair. I suppose I just want to say there was a Brexit meeting on Monday for London representatives, and some chief execs were there as well. So it was just sort of giving a sense of preparing for a no deal for the end of October, what that would mean for us, what some of the risks are, and how we're working to mitigate those as much as we can. And those are some of the known risks. There are still clearly some unknowns. And therefore sort of we are quite clear that with this paper it won't include everything, because there may be things that we don't necessarily think of. Or as someone said, it's once you pull the thread, it's sort of 5 places removed from where you thought it was coming from. So some of the unintended consequences we're not fully aware of at this stage, and we need to do some more work on that. And of the applications for settled status, so we're estimating to around 8,400 for our Merton, but we don't know whether they're successful or unsuccessful. So we're still pushing government to give us more information as to how we can then help those who haven't yet applied, because we want to make sure that certainly the vulnerable, both in Hannah's services and for those who we have a corporate care responsibility for, that we are actually making sure that we are doing as much as we can to ensure those people get the settled status that they sort of deserve. There's still a lot of talk as to whether we will be able to leave without a deal. There's clearly lots of work going on in Europe at the moment, some conversations around the evidence of the deal that Boris Johnson needs by the end of this month, so slightly earlier timescales, and whether there would be a successful challenge to the Amendment Act, which went through saying that we do need a deal before anyone leave. There's also, I think, quite a lot of the work has been driven through NHCLG and getting some understanding there, but Department of Health and Social Care has sort of been coming to the table more recently, working with adult social care directors to see how we can play into what needs to be done, and making sure that we can prepare as much as we can, or then dealing with the consequences. And so certainly we're looking at the short, medium and long term of some of these things, because some of it will be policy related, and it's how we pick up either where there's no GDPR agreements, what that might mean for some of our contracts, some of our suppliers, if they're not UK based, what risks that brings to us. So we're also working through those as well. But happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your work on this so far. Any cabinet contributions? Councillor Kelly Braun, and then Councillor Edith McCauley, and then Councillor Caroline Kumar there, and then Councillor Toby Byers. Yes, Kelly.
So I have two questions. One probably for Caroline and then one for Rachel. Firstly, I know that we have funded the post at the Merton Citizens Bureau. Do we know how many referrals that they might have received related to Brexit? And do we have that kind of data? Does it split down at that level? And then for Rachel, I know that in the report we talk about the action plan for looked after children, for whom we are corporate parents. It's mentioned as being developed in conjunction with the Home Office, but do we have an update on that we can perhaps share today?
So certainly, I think the person's only been in post since the end of July, and that is part of the information we will be getting from them as the type of queries that are coming forward, both from staff and for sort of residents of the borough, because we're also very clear if there are more cases than they can handle, we may look to sort of extend that as well. So we will have that information to feed through back to you at a later stage.
So I can't give you an update of numbers of children and their current status at the moment, although I can seek that answer for you. What I can tell you is that there are two elements to this work around settled status for our looked after children, and it depends on whether we have parental responsibility for them or not. So for the children for whom we have parental responsibility, we're pursuing settled status for them. For those who are accommodated under Section 20, their parents still have parental responsibility, so our role in that situation is to support them to make applications for settled status, but we can't insist. So that's the work that's underway.
Thank you very much. That's interesting to know. So where we are, the corporate parents will undertake settled status application for.
Where we have parental
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Edith McCauley.
I think mine is more for comment because Stephen Martin is continuing to monitor the community as a whole in terms of, anxiety amongst people, because I noticed, I have been speaking to a lot of other bodies, and also we have seen a lot of increase in court procedures where people have committed offence in terms of this Brexit issue. So a lot of people, London laws, are monitoring the situation amongst the community. So I'm delighted to see that we are working with the police in terms of the safety of our community.
Thank you very much. That's very reassuring that London boroughs are working on this. Councillor Caroline Cooper-Marbet.
Thank you very much, Chair. And it's for Caroline. Well, in terms of no deal, we talk about emergency planning. I was just wondering where are we compared to other boroughs? And also, what are some of the things that we are planning for? Thank you.
I suppose it's very difficult to judge where we are in relation to other boroughs because this is something that is only just building steam again, as it were. So I think after March it sort of died down, but certainly with the pressure that monitoring now that we're doing back to MHCLG, so we'll be able to see a London picture and the information on that back to see how we compare with others. But certainly I think there's some of the things we're doing, so it's around checking with our major contractors, their arrangements in place for our staff, and that's the proportion of staff we may be on an EU basis, to then see if there's a risk to that. Checking with our major contractors around, say for our school meals, where do their meals and food come from? Is it going to be impacted as we get heading into winter? Not quite at the moment with the weather outside, but then more food is imported, and therefore what impact that's having on that. Making sure that staff are reviewing the business continuity plans. If there are issues, for example, within schools, not necessarily within the borough, so some schools could close, and therefore if staff need to look after their children and therefore come away from our services, how are we managing that? So as I said, once you sort of start to pull a thread, sort of all sorts of things could come into play, but may not. So that's the other thing to bear in mind. It's got to still be a proportionate response at this stage.
Thank you. Councillor Byers.
Thank you, Chair. Just a comment and a question. Obviously, adult social care is particularly at risk given the reliance of EU nationals in the workforce, and I think it's right to note at 4.46 that we've taken a very proactive approach, and I think have done more other boroughs to proactively visit and engage with our domiciliary and care home providers. And we should thank the director and her team for that. But I know she's very involved in some of the wider ADAS planning, and I wonder if she could just comment more generally on how she thinks maybe we are in the sector, as particularly with winter coming, despite the autumnal sunshine we're experiencing.
Thank you. So I've said that, are we ready in the context of the work that we are doing across London? Because of course adult social care in Merton also spreads out into other boroughs in London, because we place people in different boroughs and different boroughs place in Merton. So if I can just give some of the key headlines. Some of our challenges in adult social care, irrespective of Brexit, has been the workforce and the market. We've now ramped this up across London, and some of the approaches we're taking, we've just launched a survey for all of the London boroughs in relation to adult social care, so we get an overall picture for London. Each borough is feeding into their borough plans and their Brexit leads, and that work feeds into NHCLG. We're now sharing that information with the Department of Health and Social Care as well. The trend across London and what's starting to come through the survey is very much two key areas: the workforce and the market. So I'm the ADAS resilient lead, and I'm now the Brexit lead as well. So part of our work going forward is we're going to develop a scenario type playbook for London boroughs in terms of adult social care. So we'll create some scenarios and give some advice on how to respond to that. Key as to what we've done here in Merton is engaging early with our care home providers and getting an understanding of where their challenges are and where their concerns are. And may have a financial impact for us in terms of uplifts and in terms of salaries in care homes, and we'll monitor that quite closely, but we do need to get a London feel for that. We're also working incredibly closely with the NHS. We are hitting winter, so we're now sharing data across the NHS and across London boroughs in terms of not just hospital beds but care home placements as well. And we have made a very clear ask through our leadership role for London to DHSC in relation to specifically a couple of things. One, we know that doctors and nurses and occupational therapists are on the top list for roles in London, but unqualified professional roles aren't, and we need to get them on that list because it can make their applications a lot easier, so we're really pushing for that. We've asked for some confirmation around EU settlement status, and we've also asked around trying to get a reduction on 30,000 top cap in salary, because we know that the majority of professional care workers earn less than 30,000. So that's kind of our London approach and London view at the moment, and then we continue to bring that down into Merton as well.
Thank you very much. Caroline, you wanted to come in.
Sorry, I suppose it was just to say that sort of cut in the run up to winter, and I think after the flu season in Australia, where it's been a particularly prevalent strain of flu, we have had confirmation that they feel that public health feel there's sufficient flu jabs, certainly for London. So that I think was encouraging news, but it's still making sure people take them up. So, but just that's not one of the medicines at risk at this stage.
Councillor Welton.
Thank you. I'd just like to refer to the part relating to regeneration and specific reference to 4.70, the impact of Brexit on our existing regeneration and building schemes. Obviously one of the concerns at the moment is shortage of labour, especially if we have a no-deal Brexit when new immigration controls will immediately go into effect and there will be no transitional period, but also as well the potential uplift in terms of construction costs for developments. Would the Director like care to comment on that matter, because clearly it is a concern that in the event of no deal Brexit we'll obviously see fewer regeneration schemes happening in the borough, but also as well in terms of investment in the market, and also as well the current impact the uncertainties happening at the moment in terms of regeneration.
Yeah, I think it's a real concern, and it's one that we'll need to keep a very close eye on. And the timing of some of our regeneration schemes at the moment is helpful. We anticipated Brexit during this calendar year, and
the regeneration of Morden town centre is expected to go to the market in the early part of next year. If Brexit is delayed, or if we have a no-deal Brexit, then that could affect the market and affect the prices and the interest in that regeneration scheme. And the same could also be said for Merton, but on a smaller scale. And our own housing companies' construction costs may be affected by Brexit, and we need to consider the timing of those sites if no-deal Brexit happens, and the impact that it might have on the private rental market, but also on the construction costs. So those two particular areas are being kept under close review, and we need to look at the impact on other larger schemes which are outside of our control, such as Crossroad 2, and what might happen there, as well as other infrastructure projects across the world.
Thank you. Chair, have we, with regard to our staff, have we spoken to them, consulted with them, and is that Citizen Advice Bureau service available to them, even though they work here but may not live here?
Yes, we have. So our HR department provides advice and support to any of our staff who would be in the pool who would need to consider their status and make applications, and we use the staff survey to identify the staff who were in that classroom that information. There's one other item that I was going to share the route. I'm undenied about it because it's a problem that I can't see a solution to, but I think it's important people are aware of this, which is our emergency planning functions work on the assumption that London provides mutual aid to each other. Over the last 10 years, we've reduced the number of staff that we've got in emergency planning and in local authorities generally, so the spare capacity to react to issues is quite constrained in any individual authority, but we can help each other. So when Kingston had the unexploded bomb recently, they asked neighbourhoods to assist with that. Sutton had their fire, we were able to help them with their centre by sending our staff to assist as well. So what that assumes is that an emergency occurs in a discrete area at a single point in time, and then we can all run around to help. The danger here is that it might happen everywhere at the same time, and if that's the case, then our resources are not going to be sufficient to react to that. And there isn't time between now and the 31st of October to suddenly acquire a significant number of additional staff. So if the worst does happen, it's likely not to be localised so that we can provide support. It's going to be everywhere. I'm not entirely sure why it's important people are aware that that's how the system is set up.
And I assume that's the case not just for local authorities but for our partners as well?
Some and some. The NHS has had a specific emergency planning function for quite a while and is reasonably well resourced. Our police colleagues, as we were debating last night, have had reductions. More is now coming available to them, so they're more in the same place as we are.
Thank you, everyone. As we all know, we're a Remain borough, and this is an area of great concern for us as a council, but for residents as well who wish to remain in the EU. Can I say how impressed I am by the contributions of our directors? Thank you very much for your interest, professionalism, integrity and care for this very, very important subject. I also welcome the contributions from cabinet members and our negotiations and discussions with our staff as well. I think it really is good that that Citizen Advice Bureau service is open to our staff as well, who may want to apply for settler status. Added to yesterday's debate on this report, I think we are doing all we can to prepare obviously what we want politically as a cabinet is to remain in the EU, but the reality is that directors and organisations such as local authorities must prepare for what may happen, not for what we'd love to happen. So thank you all very much for your care and attention to this item. I know that we are communicating with our residents through that very popular magazine, My Merton, that goes to all 86,000 households and has had various features on this, and there's a full-page spread, as well as various contributions over the last year on this issue. So we come to our recommendation. That's recommendation A. Is that agreed? Agreed. Thank you all very much. We now move back to item 4, consultation on the draft South London Waste Plan. Councillor Martin Welton.
Thank you, Chair. And you probably wonder why this is coming to myself, this waste plan, as lead member. Well, it relates to a planning document, which is a key planning document, because the South London Waste Plan is one of the documents which will contribute towards the local development scheme, which was passed at Council last night, in terms of the supporting documents that are required. This is the second South London Waste Plan. The first was adopted in 2012 and runs till 2021. I'd also like to make clear that it's not relating to waste collection. This is a wholly separate matter, but relating to waste disposal. Clearly we do have to have a plan in place, and we have commissioned consultants and physicists to review all relevant data from different sources from the geographic area of 4 partner boroughs, such as the existing waste transfer and management sites, the origin, destination and quantity of each type of waste that is imported and exported, the projected amounts of waste to be generated within the area, and the capacity to manage the amount of waste apportioned in the partner boroughs in the draft London plan. As I mentioned at the Council last night, we are guided by the London plan, which will hopefully be in effect from the middle of next year. Clearly any plan that we adopt has to act in full conformity with that plan. You may ask, what does the South London Waste Plan cover? What specific planning policy areas? Well, it covers local authority collected waste construction, demolition and excavation waste, hazardous waste, agricultural waste, clinical waste, radioactive waste, and waste water and how that will be treated. The detailed planning policies that set out how applications will be assessed with regards to matters such as sustainable construction, amenity impacts, sustainable energy recovery, and planning obligations, but also as well sites safeguarded for waste facilities with relevant issues highlighted for each site if proposals were developed for intensification of the existing waste operation, and sites to be retired for waste facilities. Now this point is particularly important because one of the sites that is recommended for to cease waste use is Benedict Wharf in Mitcham. I think many residents will be pleased that this is proposed to be downgraded. Sewers are looking at locating the Planning Commission last week from Sutton Council for a new waste site, and this site as well offers a huge development opportunity and the potential to build over 600 new homes. So the designation is something we actually welcome as an authority, and obviously we do hope that the Mayor will approve the re-designation of that site, and I'm sure it will be very welcomed by the residents of Mitcham, who'd have to put up with lorries and the smell emanating from that site for many years. In terms of the next steps, summer 2020 publication of submission version, autumn of 2020 submission then to the Secretary of State, it does need Secretary of State approval, early 2021 examination and public hearing, and summer 2021 the adoption. And finally, I'd also like to thank the work of the Borough Plan Advisory Committee for actually scrutinising this document. It is quite an extensive document. You've seen obviously Appendix A and Appendix B. It runs to many hundreds of pages, but I'm quite clear that as we move forward, I think there is positives in terms of this document, but obviously it's out for consultation, and that consultation will run from the end of October through to December. That's unless we have a general election in between. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Welton. I now turn to the director of this, Chris Lee.
Just two things to add, Chair, to that comprehensive introduction. One, this went to Borough Plan Advisory Committee and they were entirely content with it. Secondly, the consultation period from the end of October to December is to reflect the fact that this has to go through each of the 4 boroughs' executive bodies. It's coming here first, so until it's been through the 3 days, it won't be available to go into the public domain, but we expect that to be by the end of October.
Thank you very much. Any cabinet contributions? Councillor Paul?
So I know at 2.5 it talks about the London plan setting boroughs' targets, and one of those targets is having 0 biodegradable and recyclable waste going to landfill by 2026. To what degree do you think the South London Waste Plan allows us to be on track with that target?
Well, I think we're pretty much there now. The only waste we have going to landfill is what's called bottom ash, out of it's the byproduct of the energy from waste from its operation. So we're in a very good position.
Just run that by me again, Chris, because I like it. These pictures of we see on television of huge swathes of land mounted with rubbish everywhere and vultures swooping and a big lorry trying to ram more in. Are we not sending any of that ourselves?
None at all.
And that's the consequence of this waste plan.
Yeah, as I said, the only element that goes into a hole in the ground is that very small proportion that's left over after the end of the energy from waste plant's operation. And the only waste that's going into the energy from waste plant is non-recyclable waste.
Yeah.
So our food waste, our paper, our card, and our dry mix, plastic, tin cans, and so on, it is going elsewhere.
Very pleasing. Councillor Byers.
Just on that note, it is recycling week next week, and the South London Waste Partnership has produced a very good video which shows exactly where all of our recycling and general refuse goes, which will be pushed out by their own comms team and our comms team next week. So that explains where the bottom ash comes from.
Thank you very much. So we're on item 4. Good news, move towards the consultation on the draft South London Waste Plan. We have recommendations A and B. Are they agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. We move to our last 2 items, which the Cabinet member may wish to take together. So items 6 and 7. Item 6, financial monitoring June 2019. Item 7, financial monitoring July 2019. And it's now over to Councillor Mark Allis.
Yeah, thank you, Leader, and I will take them both together if that's okay. There's a few environments in here as well as part of the recommendations that we have. But the main thing to say is just a big thanks, as always, to everybody who contributes to these reports, led by Caroline and each of the directors. It's a very important part of the discipline of being a business-wide council that we monitor the financial position month after month after month. Because with the constraints on us from austerity cuts that we've had over the last 9 years now, it is ever more important to stay as close as we can to the actual budget. In order to avoid a position where we have to dip into reserves or cut further in order to maintain services. However, we do recognise that this is also now getting to the point where it is very, very difficult. Services have lost funding to such an extent that in order to be able to provide the required level of service, it is very testing on the finances. And although I should highlight that it's still quite early in the financial year, we are still relatively close to the budget. I think just 0.2 million out at the moment. However, that itself hides a number of things that are going on at the moment, and we should, for instance, look at the expenditure in some of the services and the strain that they're under. Children's social services and children's schools and families is looking at there being nearly £2 million variance there already in the year, and the strains on that service due to government cuts and due to increased demand from residents is going to be very, very difficult for us over future years, and it's going to be, I think, a theme that we're going to have to be looking at as a council over the next few years. Also to point out that this is the financial monitoring of this year's budget. Obviously, future years' budgets we're expecting we're going to have to reduce. We're expecting in the next budget round that we're going to have to make very significant further savings, which will add yet more to these pressures. And that's because the financial budget, the report from the Chancellor just 2 weeks ago was not as generous or at all as generous as it tried to portray itself. And it does look as though there's going to be very significant council tax increases for our residents, according to what the Chancellor has laid out, alongside even further cuts to what we're able to provide. And one of the things that might have been missed in that statement was that the trialling of pooling business rates across London, which has benefited councils in London quite significantly. That's now ending, and that will cost London millions of pounds, and it will have a big impact on the size of cuts that London councils are going to have to make. So once again, thanks to everybody for their efforts in this. Doing really, really good work, but we do as politicians understand the very great pressures that your departments are under, and appreciate the efforts that you go to stick to this project.
Thank you. I understand that a postponement of cancellation of business rates pooling may cost us £1.5 million, and that came completely out of the blue from a Tory government. Caroline Collins.
Thank you. So I suppose just to draw your attention to the month 3 report, which went to the Financial Monitoring Task Group, but because it went there and hadn't been here, that was sort of discussed as a confidential item. I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that it's the same information that was reported there, and that also includes an update on our income recovery and clearly all the detailed savings. So clearly in the month 4 report, there are some significant environments within the capital programme. One of the most significant ones is the housing company, and sort of linked with some of the work around refreshing the plans and the availability of the units that we want to build on those. So we're not in a position to spend the money at this stage, so we've split quite a large amount into future years. And there's a scheme here for your approval, which will then require council approval, which is a change to what was the Morden Lake desilting scheme to now do the urgent reservoir safety schemes as required under sort of government act. And whilst there has been an improvement between month 3 and month 4 in the monitoring, so coming down from 0.7 million to 0.2 million, the dedicated schools grant shown on page 106 has actually increased to 9.2 million deficit in a year. So that's clearly something that Rachel and her colleagues are working to ensure how we can sustain, maintain or contain what we do in this area, and also make sure that we still got the DP to fund this vital area of our service.
Was that figure correct I gave out the business rate pooling?
Approximately, yes.
Thank you. Any cabinet contributions? Okay, we're on our last 2 items. Those are the normal regular financial monitoring reports of June 2019 and July 2019. On On item 6, it's recommendations A and B. Are they agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. For item 7, it's recommendations A to C. Are they agreed? Thank you. That concludes our meeting. Thank you very much.